Hi, welcome to Joey's Helping Others. Today we're doing an unboxing. Got, I believe, two albums in here. We'll see. And then I got some other albums I'm going to be talking about. So let's kind of dive in and see what we've got here. Usually I already have them out of the box and I know what I have, but I'm pretty sure I know what I have here. All right, let's see. Yep, you got two albums. So I'll move that out of the way. And let's see here. Neither of them have a label, so I guess we'll just open them up and see what they are. Okay. Here we go. This is our first one. It's the Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift, and this is the white version, I believe. I found out there are 4 versions of this. There's a sepia, I believe, a gray, and a black, and each one comes with a different bonus track. And so I found out you have to get all 4 to get all 4 bonus tracks. And I also found out that this album is not part of the double album series. And so it's just the first set of songs from Taylor Swift's new album. She surprised everybody with a double album. And so the second part of the double album is not released yet, or that I know of. If it is, oh wow, this booklet is just like literally, I'm not gonna pull, I guess it's just part of the album itself. Yeah, it is. And so I've listened, actually I have listened to the album a little bit on digital, and it's pretty interesting. I also read some reviews about it. You know, this is a big release. A lot of students that I teach are very huge fans of Taylor Swift, and I have a couple of her albums. I will admit I'm not the hugest Swiftie fan, but I can respect her work, and it's interesting to kind of get something that introductory poem by Stevie Nicks. See, that's interesting to me. To me, it's like, this is like a cultural artifact at the very least. And oh wow, this is really cool. So already, like, as you go through each song or each page, it has some information about the song, some photos. I think this is really neat. A lot of the reviews I read were just literally about the album, not about like the vinyl. And so I think this booklet's really neat. Can't seem to turn the page. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can turn it this way. And has some really cool formatting. Of course, it has the lyrics, has some little liner notes. Yeah, I don't know. This is neat. I mean, like I said, Taylor Swift may not be my favorite artist, but I see that there's some really good intentionality in this. Some remarks I've heard, you know, like if people are being kind of critical, or is that her songs lend themselves a little towards Olivia Rodriguez and Lana Del Rey, who I've talked about in other videos. And then also, who was the other person? It was someone else. But you know, I think this is a genre. I think this is a genre that those are all people that are part of the diaspora, and I would say it's definitely like a pop parallel space where we have multiple artists who are creating similar music that have their own stories to them. Of course, their arrangements, you know, yeah, that's where you can kind of see maybe some homage, we'll say, to each other. But I also think that that's kind of just part of genres. I mean, part of genres in general is that you see people using each other's sounds. One thing I always keep in mind as a listener is that like in my world, in Joey's world, you know, every sound has been heard before. And sometimes it's these unique arrangements and sometimes it's direct use of someone else's sounds. But most of the time I feel that when you get into the pop level and you get into the writing and then arrangement side of it, they're going to get close to each other. They just are. They're like planes flying close to each other because they're in a similar genre and they're in a similar fan base. And so, yeah, it gets a little dicey. But that said, her sound that I've heard, you know, listening to her album so far, is one that's interesting. It's very contemporary in the sense of having a lush sound, talking about like hi-fi wise. It sounds very lush. It sounds very clear. The synths are very warm, and her voice is, you know, Taylor's voice. To me, it's kind of like Selena Quintanilla. You know, Selena Quintanilla, some people argue, was not the greatest singer. But as someone that was a fan, and that is a fan of Selena Quintanilla, maybe that's not what the fans were totally focused on. And I think that goes with Taylor Swift, is that it's not just the music, it's all of these ancillary things that are going on. And growing up in this age of seeing someone produce music and make music that speaks to a really big generation. So that's the first album. And then we have like a totally other random album, which I got based off of a former student of mine's recommendation. And that is Pearl Jam's new album. I believe it's called Dark Matter. And if y'all remember, I recently got a bunch of Pearl Jam albums. If you go back and look at the releases I've been discussing and talking about and opening. And so this album is a new release by Pearl Jam. Now this one I have not listened to yet. This one I have just started kind of getting back into, getting really interested in, because I will admit I'm pretty biased towards the older Pearl Jam sound. And listening to their new stuff, I've never really been as big of a fan, but I'm very, oh, these are stickers. Oh wow, it comes with these cool stickers. Look at that. But I'm very interested because my friend that recommended it, my old student, you know, talked about how this album just really blew them away, and we had just talked about a bunch of their albums they had come out with, you know, in the early days. So I'm excited to hear this one and see what it's all about, and kind of get some insight into it. The album itself seems pretty well produced. I mean, this is a really thick stock for the album cover. So it also has like a very distinct smell. Not bad, just like almost like a new car smell. It's kind of weird. Trying to put this stuff back like nicely. There we go. All right, let's look at what the album looks like. Let's see here. But yeah, this is definitely like a fresh album. Definitely makes me think about like Fitment. Oh wow, this is like a really nice sleeve. Cool. Yeah, and this is just standard vinyl. Thought maybe it'd be a heavier vinyl, but it's not. Yeah, we'll have to check this one out. I'm excited about that. So, you know, one I listened to, kind of cheated and heard, but it was because it was such a big release. I wanted to have a little more insight into it. I didn't want to just say, hey, I got the new Taylor Swift album and then not have anything to really say about it. Whereas with the Pearl Jam, I'm okay with saying, hey, I haven't listened to this one yet. I'm excited. Well, at some point we're going to sweep back and I'm going to go over a lot of the albums that I've gone back to and listened to. Gosh, just, I will say this is a really tight fit. I mean, I treat my records very gingerly and very nicely, and so it's probably part of this, but I really don't like the way this fits. I'm gonna have to give this a thumbs down in terms of fitment. Even though, like, what's weird is that, I mean, it is a really high quality jacket, and then the sleeves are high quality, the prints are high quality. It's the fitment's just too tight. Anyways, that's really nerding out. And then some records that I've been listening to lately have been a little all over the place. But where was it? This is one that I got a while back. I haven't opened this up yet. I keep debating. It's a Mac Miller Swimming, and it's a special release. So it's a 5-year anniversary edition. I got it for my birthday, and I already have this album, but I feel like we should open it. I already have it just in regular form, but this is a 5-year anniversary form. So I have records like this sitting in my collection of stuff that I either have duplicates of or that I just haven't opened because I just haven't taken the time. Now, Mac Miller Swimming, for those that haven't heard this album, this is a great album. Now, this cover is like embossed. So it has like a feel, all the letters are raised, this circle is raised. This is not embossed. And then of course this is embossed. Let's see here. Wow, this seems kind of like the Pearl Jam thing where it's pretty thick in terms of, yeah, this is actually not that sturdy. It's like a regular kind of cover, so you have to treat that nicely. Oh, wow. Wow, okay, so I'm gonna turn this around. So 2018, we're gonna be all right. 2023, and let's see what's in these sleeves. Whoa, I'm already getting a preview here. Let's see here. So Swimming Mac Miller 1A. 1B. I started listening to Mac Miller when I was first teaching at UIW back in 2010, and I was really blown away with just how he was developing as an artist outside of the label scene, and then he got signed, and I kind of lost track of him. Then in like 2019 era, I was teaching a class and had a student do a project on him, and it made me just circle all the way back and kind of reassess like how I had been looking at his work. Oh wow, okay. So each one of these is like a letter, and then like each one has the songs and all the liner notes for each song, but not the lyrics, just the liner notes. So so that's interesting. I mean, that's really kind of different and very colorful. Very, very colorful. I'm not sure. Is this a poster? I think this is a poster. Oh yeah, it is. Check this out. It's a black and white, like original cover rendition poster. This is what the cover of the album looked like originally, which I have. And then it has these. Wow, okay. And then let's look at the see what's in the third. I'm assuming it's an additional album, which it looks like it is. And y'all know I'm not trying to mess this stuff up, and it just doesn't ever feel right. These things, this is interesting. Okay, so this is the second album, 2A, 2B of Swimming. So yeah, it looks like it's 3 to 4 songs a side. It's 33 RPM. It's not 45. But man, this album just looks crazy. So kind of like almost like an artful homage to the album, more than a like retrospective homage where they have a lot of information about the album, or kind of like a reflection on the process or things like that. So this is interesting. And just to kind of refresh everybody, I'll grab the original, which is this one right here, Swimming. And, you know, not embossed, just a print. I don't know if this is an original print or a reprint. I'm thinking it's an original. I've listened to this album quite a bit, and it's just on black vinyl. And it comes, oh, that makes sense. It comes with this insert. And so this insert was then created into a full kind of artful piece with spelling Swimming. Okay, got it. So this album was really powerful for the student that covered it. And for me, yeah, it did the same thing for me. If you haven't heard this album, I can't recommend it enough. I know I've been rambling a little bit on this video, but I'm just kind of towards the end of the semester as a professor, and I've just kind of take it in. And, you know, honestly, I kind of recommend listening to Swimming and Taylor Swift back to back. That would be an interesting juxtaposition, kind of seeing what that means for those that have heard this album and maybe or have heard one but not the other. That'd be a pretty neat thing. I kind of recommend. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will be having more, as I've talked about. I also have more hi-fi updates. As you can see, I have all this hi-fi, lots of stuff happening. I'll check in about that later. But I hope you all enjoyed this unboxing and kind of this retrospective, you know, unopening of a Swimming album I got, and kind of looking at the two versions side by side. So y'all take it easy.